Hello everyone. So I welcome you to the Prepare channel. আজি আমি উপস্থিত হৈছোহি আমাৰ APSC মেইনছ এক্সামিনেশ্যনৰ 9 নম্বৰ মডেল কুৱেশ্যন পেপাৰখনত আৰু এইখনতো আমি কিছুমান ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট কুৱেশ্যনছ আনচাৰ্ছ ডিছকাছ কৰিম যাৰ জৰিয়তে কিছুমান ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট টপিকছ বেলেগ বেলেগ পেপাৰৰ সাপেক্ষে ডিছকাছ কৰিম। চ' আহকচোন আমি প্ৰথম কুৱেশ্যনটোলৈ আহোঁ। প্ৰথম কুৱেশ্যনটো হৈছে the first question is the National Commission for Women able to strategize and tackle the problems that women face at both public and private spheres? Give reasons to support your answer. And this question can be taught from the paper GS2. So this question is asking about National Commission for Women, whether it is being able to strategize and tackle problems of women. So National Commission for Women is a statutory organization which is formed in the year 1992, and it is mandated to review the constitutional and legal safeguards for women, recommend remedial legislature measures, facilitate redressal of grievances, and advise the government on policy matters affecting the women. So 1992 চনত গঠিত হোৱা এই নেশ্যনেল কমিশ্যন ফৰ women, ইয়াত দেখিবলৈ পাইছে ইয়াৰ লগতো ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় মহিলা আয়োগ, নেশ্যনেল কমিশ্যন women. ইয়াৰ মেইন কামটো হৈছে womenৰ safeguards বা লিগেল safeguards বা কনষ্টিটিউচনেল safeguards to maintain ৰাখা বা ৰিভিউ কৰা, আৰু যিখিনি ৰিমেডিয়েল মেজাৰ্ছ লাগে বা যিখিনি ৰিমেডিয়েল লেজিসলেচাৰ্ছ লাগে সেইখিনি গভৰ্ণমেণ্টক ইনফৰ্ম কৰা, ৰিড্ৰেচেল অফ গ্ৰেভেনেন্স এণ্ড সেইখিনি মেজাৰ যিখিনি মেজাৰ জৰিয়তে ওমেনখিনিয়ে নিজৰ যিখিনি গ্ৰিভেন্সেছ আছে সেইখিনি ইনফৰ্ম কৰিব পাৰো, সেই ইনফৰ্ম গ্ৰিভেন্সেছখিনিৰ ওপৰত কাম কৰা, আৰু চৰকাৰক এডভাইচ দিয়া প্ৰতিটো তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ পলিচি যিটোৰ জৰিয়তে ওমেনৰ এই ছেফগাৰ্ড either constitutional or legal আমি implement কৰিব পাৰো, right? সেইখিনি কাম হয় National Commission for Women. So National Commission for Women duty is to review the constitutional legal safeguards for women, recommend remedial legislative measures, and facilitate the redressal of grievances, and advise the government on all the policy matters affecting women. Now, since its inception, the Commission has occupied a considerable space in protecting the rights of weaker section of the population on gender lines. আমাৰ জেণ্ডাৰ লাইনছৰ পৰা চাবলৈ গ'লে আৰু বিভিন্ন ইণ্ডেক্সৰ ফালৰ পৰা চাবলৈ গ'লে we can find that women also lies in the weaker section as per the gender lines. So this commission tried to actually strengthen this community, or you can say weaker community in lines of gender, so that they can also enjoy the equal status as that of their male counterpart, right? So in the past, it has proposed the amendments to the acts like IPC 1860 to carve the sale of minor girls, then Hindu Marriage Act 1955 to omit Apsc as grounds for divorce, Dowry Prohibition Act in order to bring the problems of dowry debts into limit the light and dilute them appropriately. So যেতিয়াৰ পৰা আমি ইয়াৰ মানে যদি ক'বলৈ যোৱা হয় নেশ্যনেল কমিশ্যন ফৰ ওমেনৰ কিছুমান গুড ষ্টেপছ হৈছে লাইক Hindu Marriage Act 1955 amendment অনাটো, right? And then minor girls বিলাক আগতে যিখিনি চেল কৰে বা সেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কিছুমান এক্টিভিটিজ ইণ্ডিয়াত আছিল সেইখিনি কাৰ্ভ কৰিবলৈ IPC 1860 এটা এমেণ্ডমেণ্ট আনিছিল। তেনেকৈ ডাউৰি প্ৰহিবিশ্যন এক্ট আনিছিল যৌতুক প্ৰথা বন্ধ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে। So এইবিলাক we can say that these are the credits of National Commission for Women. It also proposed the protection of women from domestic violence bill that was passed in the year 2005. In recent times also, the Commission has adopted the multi-pronged strategy of assisting women in redressal of their grievances, facilitating speedy delivery of justice to women by organizing Paribarik Mahila Loko Adalats, Paribarik Mahila Loko Adalats in different parts of the country, as well as launching the awareness campaign regarding women's rights. So, women's jate jikhini grievances ase, hekhini সোনকালে redress কৰিব পাৰি বা যিখিনি তেওঁলোকৰ problem আছে সেইখিনি সোনকালে জাষ্টিচ আনিব পাৰি তাৰ বাবে পাৰিবাৰিক মহিলা লোক আদালতো তেওঁলোকে এই নেশ্যনেল কমিশ্যন ফৰ ওমেনে কণ্ডাক্ট কৰায় Then recently, this commission set up several inquiry committees to combat the problems faced by women, such as in the cases of police atrocities and misbehavior with girl students of Kurseta University, rape case of a woman in Safdarjung Hospital, and then gang rape of 15 years old girl at Lucknow. There are different examples are that you can see many like this. You can see that wrestlers, women wrestlers, are finding such kind of atrocities, or you can say some sexual assault against them, right? So এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ বহুত কেছ আমাৰ ইণ্ডিয়াত ঘটি থাকে আৰু সেইবিলাকৰ ভালকৈ ইনকুৱাৰী কৰিবৰ কাৰণে নেশ্যনেল কমিশ্যন ফৰ ওমেনে বহুত ধৰণৰ ইনকুৱাৰী কমিটিজ এষ্টাব্লিছ কৰায়, বহুত ধৰণৰ ইনকুৱাৰী কমিটিজ গঠন কৰি পেলাই সেইবিলাকৰ ওপৰত ইনভেষ্টিগেশ্যন কৰায়. Further, its research cells looks into the emerging problems of Indian women due to discrimination and gender bias. However, we have talked about the credits for this commission. Now let's talk about the challenges or issues or criticism with respect to this commission. There are also examples when the commission has not been able to come up with the expectation of women in India. For example, on the other serious issue of use of sexual violence against women by police and army personnel in the highly militarized areas of Jammu and Kashmir, Northeast, and now Chhattisgarh, there has been a silence on part of this commission. You know, sexual violence, as per the difference, you can say media said, against the women in Jammu and Kashmir, Northeast, and Chhattisgarh, this type of violence actually impacted adversely, or you can say very bad impact with respect to our means what I can say, the respect and respect towards the army. But we heard about this, and we heard it from different media that this type of things are happening exactly. So whether this is true or wrong, the National Commission for Women should look after that, as it has the duty of creating different committees, inquiry committees. So it has to actually create such committees to look after these issues that has been facing the different sections of our country, particularly Jammu Kashmir, Northeast, Chhattisgarh, the women of there, which actually gone through different type of atrocities against them. Whether this is true or wrong, this doesn't matter, but the duty of the National Commission for Women has to establish some committees and look after these issues, and thereby coming up with some solutions or with some kind of what we can say guidelines to the government to look after this, right? So this commission has been limited in its fight for empowering Indian women due to shortcoming in its composition and structure. And what is that shortcomings, sir? What are the shortcomings, sir? Like, it only recommends amendments and submits reports which are not binding on the government. That is, যিখিনি ৰিকমেণ্ড ই কৰিব বা যিখিনি ছাবমিট কৰিব ৰিপৰ্ট, যেনেকৈ এই কেছটো যদি ৰিপৰ্ট কৰি দিয়ে গভৰ্ণমেণ্টক, মানে ভালকৈ ইনকুৱাৰী কৰি ইনভেষ্টিগেট কৰি ৰিপৰ্ট ছাবমিট কৰে, তথাপিও যে গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে সেইখিনি মানিব লাগিব তেনে বুলি কোনো কথা নাই, বিকজ গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট ইজ নট বাইণ্ডিং টু দ্য ৰিকমেণ্ডেশ্যন অফ নেশ্যনেল কমিশ্যন ফৰ ওমেন। right? It lacks autonomy in terms of appointment of its own members. It is dependent on the government for funding, which compromises its independence. So it is not getting fund directly from our economic system. So it is getting it only from the central government's funding. So there is a lack of independence for this commission with respect to this economy part, right? Its jurisdiction is not applicable to Jammu Kashmir, where the violence against women has increased in the recent past. But we have to look after this, because now as this Jammu and Kashmir, they become union territory, whether this commissions has jurisdiction over this territory or not, we have to go through it properly. Okay. Then there is a need to safeguard the political autonomy of this commission by replacing the current nomination system with a transparent, democratic, and non-patrician, or I can say non-partisan selection process for members and chairperson of the commissions. It should also be given the wider power to enforce its recommendation and provide immediate relief to the victim of women discrimination and violence. So a commission to যিটো গঠনত এটা পলিটিক্যাল অটনমি থাকিব লাগে, যাতে কোনো এটা পলিটিক্যাল পাৰ্টিৰ ইনফ্লুয়েন্সত নাযায়, আৰু এটা ট্ৰান্সপাৰেণ্ট ডেমক্ৰেটিক নন পাৰ্টিচান চিষ্টেম থাকিব লাগে যেতিয়া ইয়াৰ চেয়াৰপাৰ্চন বা মেম্বাৰ্ছখিনিক চিলেক্ট কৰা হয়, আৰু লগতে এটা অটনমি থাকিব লাগে, আৰু ই যি ৰিকমেণ্ডেশ্যন কৰে সেইখিনি যাতে ইমিডিয়েট এনফৰ্চ কৰিব পাৰি, সেয়াৰ ওপৰতো এটা ব্যৱস্থা গ্ৰহণ কৰিব লাগে। So this is all about National Commission for Women's, its credits as well as its challenges and some way forwards. So let's come to the next question. Explain the key policy changes recommended by Reserve Bank of India in its report to achieve net zero emissions by 2070 in India. How can these policy measures contribute to combating climate change and promoting sustainable economic growth? A question to GS paper 3 বুলি আমি ধৰিব পাৰো, আৰু ইয়াত সুধিছে এক্সেক্টলি যে RBI এনে কি চেঞ্জেছ আনিছে পলিচিখিনিত যাতে সেই চেঞ্জেছখিনিয়ে ভাৰতৰ যিটো 2070 লৈকে নেট জিৰ' এমিশ্যন এচিভ কৰাৰ গোল ৰাখিছে সেইটো সহায় কৰে, ৰাইট? How can this policy measure contribute to combating climate change and promoting sustainable economic growth? Let's discuss about this. You know about the carbon pricing system, probably you heard about, and we have already discussed in one of our previous lectures. And you also heard about cap and trade system. So থুলমূলকে ক'বলৈ গ'লে কি হয়, carbon price system to pay a price on the carbon pollution. Price increases over time, innovate more to pollute less and pay less. So whenever you pollute less, you just need to pay less. যিমানে কম পলিউশন কৰিব সিমানে কম পইচা দিব, সেইটো হৈছে কাৰ্বন প্ৰাইচ সিস্টেম। এটা ৱে যিটো আমাৰ যিটো সাইকোলজি আৰু ইউ ক্যান সে মানে এটা কগনিটিভ এপ্ৰোচ বুলি ক'ব পাৰো, যাৰ জৰিয়তে আমি পলিউশন কম কৰিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিম, সেইটো আনিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰা হৈছে। An overall cap on emission, those who reduce their pollution level and innovate are economically rewarded. Industries buy carbon permits from others who emit less. So এটা cap ৰাখিব, এটা লিমিট ৰাখিব, যোনে কম পলিউশন লেভেল মানে এচিভ কৰিব তাহাঁতক ৰিৱাৰ্ড দিয়া যাব, আৰু ইণ্ডাষ্ট্ৰীয়ে কাৰ্বন পাৰ্মিটছ ল'ব লাগিব, তাৰ কাৰণে কিনিব লাগিব সেইবিলাকৰ পৰা যি কাৰ্বন কম এমিট কৰে। থুলমূলকে গোটেইখিনি কৰিলো, pay price on carbon pollution, there will be a cap, industry need to buy the carbon permit. Now let's see this questions answer section in details. In the report on currency and finance, to report currency and finance. In the report on currency and finance, RBI has highlighted various concerns associated with achieving desired growth rate while controlling the emission targets. And as per the report, if India wants to become a developed country by 47-48, 2047-48, its GDP growth rate should be 9.6% per annum to 2047-48. So GDP growth rate যদি 9.6% হয়গে তেতিয়াহে ইণ্ডিয়া এখন ডেভেলপ কাউন্ট্ৰিলৈ পৰিণত হ'ব 2047-47 চনত। RBI সেই report, currency and financial report to চাওঁ আমি ভালকৈ। As per this report, India can increase the level of energy efficiency, that is, reduce the energy use per unit of GDP. Right? যিমানে কম কৰিব, সিমানেইটো efficiency টো বাঢ়িব। Increase the greenness of the energy, that is, reduce emissions per unit of energy. Then at present, India's energy efficiency has been improving at 2.3% per annum over the last 10 years. However, it needs to be accelerated to 5%. এতিয়া যদি আমি চাওঁ energy efficiency to 2.3% improve হৈছে already, but এইটো আমি 5% লৈ convert কৰিব লাগিব বা improve কৰিব লাগিব. Similarly, the share of green energy in primary energy has to be increased to 70 to 82% of the total by 2070. যেতিয়াহে আমাৰ zero emission to হ'ব, right? So green energy share to 70 পৰা 82% লৈকে বঢ়াব লাগিব. Now, policy recommendation by RBI to achieve net zero emission by 2070. Prioritizing area hoise, as per this report, India needs to intervene in some major areas which needs to be implemented over the next 10 years, like shifting power generation away from coal-based thermal power towards the solar, wind, and other green sources is the one of the priority areas, because this will lead to the almost half of the reduction in emission. So, ami renewable energy phale shift koribo lagibo coal-based opera, যাতে ইয়াৰ ফলত কি হ'ব, ৰিডাকশনটো হাফ হৈ যাব, কম হৈ যাব, right? Phasing down coal-based power plant. As per the RBI report, the government should ensure that no new coal-based thermal power plants will be set up after a certain period. এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কোনো নতুন coal-based thermal power plantক আৰু set up কৰিবলৈ দিয়া নাযাব। সেনেকুৱা নিদিবলৈ আচলতে RBI ৰিপৰ্টে recommend কৰিছে, right? Phasing down the coal-based power plants may lead to the phasing out of coal mines, and that can have implementation on employment and state finances. But India needs to prepare itself for such challenges. এনেকুৱা হলে obviously employment কম হ'ব বা state or finance অলপ challenge আহিব, but still India যদি সেই 2070 লক্ষ্যটোত উপনীত হ'ব বিচাৰিছে, তেনেহলে সেইবিলাক challengeৰকো আঁকোৱালি ল'বলৈ সাজু থাকিব লাগিব। Investment, raising the share of green energy to 70 to 82%. ইতিমধ্যে কৈছোৱে, right? Of total energy by 2070 will involve massive investment in the building electricity generation, storage and transmission capacity, and also in developing infrastructure for green hydrogens. যদি আমি green energy share to 70 পৰা 82% লৈকে বঢ়াব বিচাৰিম, তো obviously আমি কিছুমান innovative weight গুৰুত্ব দিব লাগিব এই ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি বা ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি জেনেৰেশ্যনত, ষ্ট'ৰেজত, ট্ৰান্সমিশ্যন কেপাচিটিত, আৰু তাৰে এটা মেইন গোল থাকিব লাগিব গ্ৰীণ হাইড্ৰজেন ইনফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰ ডেভেলপ কৰাত। আমি যোৰহাটৰ কথা ইতিমধ্যে উপলব্ধ মানে ইয়াত এক্সাম্পল হিচাপত দিব পাৰিম, ৰাইট? দেন since a large part of investment will be taken by private sector, there is a need for policy environment that will encourage such investment. এই ক্ষেত্ৰত we should not only rely on the government kind of environment, we should adopt PPP mode or private partners in such infrastructure building process. Then carbon tax or cap and trade system. ইতিমধ্যে কৈছো carbon tax or cap and trade system. The RBI report highlights the issue of imposing such a system. The Electricity Amendment Act makes provision for introducing cap and trade system. Cap আৰু trade systemক মানে কোৱা হৈছে কি হয়, however, whether an explicit carbon tax would be better needs to be carefully examined. যে carbon tax টো দিয়া হ'ব, সেইটো এটা ভালকৈ আমাৰ ভাৰতৰ নিচিনা ৰাজ্যত সেইটো দিবলৈ হলে কি ধৰণৰ আউটকাম আহিব, কাৰ্বন টেক্স দিয়াৰ ফলত কি আউটকাম হ'ব পাৰে, আগতীয়াকৈ তাৰ ওপৰত ৰিচাৰ্চ কৰা বহুত দৰকাৰ। Moreover, either option would raise the cost of coal to users, and this would be reflected in the price of coal-based electricity. such mechanism might enhance the competitiveness of green electricity without implementing mandatory renewable purchase obligation on discoms. যদি আমি এনেকুৱা কৰো যে কোল বেস এপিনে ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি এভেইলেবল আছে আৰু এপিনে আমাৰ renewable purchase বা renewable based electricity আছে, তাৰ ভিতৰত আমি যদি কোল বেসড যিখিনি এনাৰ্জি আছে তাৰ দামখিনি যদি কষ্টখিনি বঢ়াই দিয়া হয়, then obviously people will move towards the lesser costly one, and that should be the green electricity option. And in that way, mandatory nokorake people should come towards this green option, right? However, despite such concerns, a big advantage of carbon taxation is that it will raise the revenue. Jodi ekini thakibo pare, but kintu carbon taxation or folot revenue obviously generate hobo, right? That will actually bring some positive outcomes to our economic growth. But since both the central and state government do not have enough fiscal space for the transitions, carbon taxation will provide required resources. Now, how we can conclude? Improvements in the energy efficiency are critical to reduce emission. Therefore, there is a need to switch to more energy efficient system and implement more energy efficient building design. So, আমি যদি energy efficiency to improve কৰিব বিচাৰো, তেনেহলে কি হ'ব? কিছুমান ধৰণৰ সুইচ কৰিবই লাগিব, এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ সিস্টেমলে যিটো নেকি বেছি এনাৰ্জি এফিচিয়েন্ট হয় বা বেছি এনাৰ্জি লগতে কম এমিশন হয়, ৰাইট? আৰু হেতু এটা বহুত ক্ৰুচিয়েল হ'ব পাৰে, but still it may need time, but it is not kind of move that cannot be adopted. It can surely be adopted, but before that some preparation needed and some ethical changing towards that will be needed, and also some economy strengthening will also be required for that. So RBI, through its report, actually talks about those things, which will be the kind of, you can say, measures to adopt or deviate towards green-based energy system from biofuel-based energy system, and by imparting some kind of carbon tax, and thereby, because in the RBI is a kind of economic what I can say, that economic structure, right? Economic body. So it will obviously try to bring such measure which will be related to economy, but for that changes towards this means human minds, or you can say cognitive process changing will of course be needed along with this type of mandatory imposition of such carbon taxes. So AI asil amar second question to answer our related of discussion. So with this, I am ending this lecture, the first session of the question paper 9. So thank you. Bye-bye.